Hey, I'm Jay Kumar, the BassBlaster, and this is your Seafoam Kistler Top 5 of the Week in Bass Fishing. Welcome to 2025. Let's go. Number 1. Okay, herring lakes are either the best lakes to fish because they're on, or they're the worst.
Oh, this place is the worst!
Now, one time before forward-facing sonar, I got so frustrated fishing a local herring lake that I asked Casey Ashley about it. He for sure knows herring lakes, and he won the 2015 Bassmaster Classic on one. He literally told me, forget everything you know, up is down. I was like, am I in a spy movie right now?
Okay, name. Austin Danger Fowers.
Anyhow, the tried and true herring lake bait is of course the Zoom Fluke, properly known as the Zoom Salty Super Fluke.
That sounds salty.
Yes, it does, Mr. Ned Rig. Anyhow, everyone fishes a fluke on herring lakes, which of course means the fish have seen it a zillion times, and there's some issues with it too. So a couple Georgia guys came up with this. That's the 100 Swim Bait Company Flick, which is kind of fluke shaped, but obviously it's a hard bait, it's heavier, and it has treble hooks. Here's what company owner Colin Smith said about it in the BassBlaster email. The number one thing we were looking for was a better hookup ratio. We also wanted better castability, and we wanted a true chrome bait since bass on herring lakes love chrome. We were also tired of buying packs and packs of flukes. You can pull a tail off a torn up fluke on our bait and throw it most of the day. You'll go through way less and save yourself some money. The fluke will usually excel in slick, calm conditions, but in every other condition, especially wind, our bait is superior due to castability and action. Here's what it looks like rigged. Colin says you can fish it like a fluke or like a jerkbait. His favorite way is making a long cast, counting it down 2 or 3 seconds, then doing a steady, moderate retrieve and bouncing the rod tip to kind of get it walking a little bit underwater.
You gotta shake, 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 like you shake, shake, shake.
And like everything in fishing that gets figured out to solve one problem, this bait catches them in way more situations than just spotted bass and herring lakes. Maybe give it a shot, man. Number 2. I half joke all the time that all bass fishermen have ADD, because we do.
That's attention deficit.
I know what it is.
We know too, chef. By the way, here is an actual MRI of a bass fisherman's brain while he's out on the water.
I run and I run and I run and I run.
You know it. Anyhow, I'm wondering if some of our Japanese bassin bros are a lot more patient than we are. Last year, I pointed out that they fish unweighted baits like this one that might take several minutes to slowly float sink down to the bottom. Minutes? 10 minutes? That would feel like an hour to us ADD bass fishermen. Plus there's a fish biting over there. And hey, did that guy just catch one? All right, I got sidetracked somehow. Anyhow, this came up again for me recently because Bassmaster.com had a deal where Bassmaster Elite Pro Taku Ito gave up the juice on how he soaks his baits, which he says makes our bass easier to catch. Well, he has 2 Elite Series wins already, so it's tough to argue that one. Now, the thing that stood out to me is that Taku doesn't just put scent on a bait or stick it in a bag of baits. He soaks his soft plastics in Nories aging bass liquid in sealed containers for a month to 2 years. 2 years! He even dates the containers so he doesn't forget how long they've been in there or open them too early or whatever. Then when they're swole up with that shrimp stank, he puts them in a plastic bag with Nories bite powder and shakes it up like he's breading a catfish fillet. After all that, those baits finally go in his boat. So I have to ask you, all you ADD brothers of mine, do you have the patience for that?
All we need is just a little patience.
Man, Axel's moving like a wacky rigged Senko in that deal. Moving on, number 3.
Do you remember 21st September?
I don't actually remember the 21st of September, but I do remember the bait I used to throw before the Senko came out when I absolutely needed a bite. A root beer curly tail grub on a jig head, kind of like this. If you've never fished one, you might be like, hey, that bait looks like it does nothing. But here's what it looks like underwater. Now that we're in the era of the Ned rig and the jig head minnow, maybe you use one of those when you need a bite, bite, bite. If you want to try a curly tail grub, they typically come in 2, 3, and 4-inch sizes. I used to fish the 3-inch on way worse jig heads and hooks than we have now. So I guess I'd pick a 3-inch Yamamoto or other similar curl tail grub, and I'd put it on a jig head with a 2-aught light wire hook and just keep reeling, man.
I'm reeling.
Not that fast though, keep it slow and steady. Number 4. Do you know what this is? It's something we've never seen before in bass fishing. It's Major League Fishing's new transducer lockbox designed by Precision Sonar.
The lockbox.
That will lock off forward-facing sonar transducer cables in a way that lets the tournament director and your competitors know that you're legal. In this case, you is anyone fishing one of the MLF trails that require it, including the top Bass Pro Tour.
Lockbox.
Here's a quick look at how it works.
You will take the transducer cable out of the back of the unit and you can slide it into one of the channels. If you have multiple transducer cables that need to be locked up, you can run another transducer cable on the other side of the insert. Once you have your transducer cables in place, you can then take the outer casing, slide it over, and click it in place. And now your transducer cables are locked up.
Now that gets locked or unlocked with a key that either the TD has or in the case of the Bass Pro Tour, the boat official. But what if the guy forgets the key or it falls in the lake or something?
They put you in jail right away.
Straight to the joint. Hey, maybe we could say with the box that the transducers are in jail. Or maybe they're getting a timeout.
Take a timeout.
All right, you might be wondering, what if a guy runs 3 or more transducers? What then? Well, Sammy Hagar has the answer. You just need 1, 2, 3 lock boxes. Number 5. What happens when the best tournament bass pro of all time, who also happens to be one of the best teaching pros of all time, retires?
Sorry, Ted, it's a dumb question. Skip that.
That is a dumb question because someone like that can't retire. And you and I know the someone we're talking about is Kevin Van Dam. I mean, before Kevin even retired, in quotes, he was already working on his new retirement full-time fishing show. It's called the Van Dam Experience, and I think he got the idea for that name from Jimmy. Okay, I have no idea if that's true, but I do believe Kevin's answer to Jimmy's question is yes, he has been experienced, or is experienced, whatever. Okay, I'm shouting out KVD's new TV show because I kind of feel like we have to watch it. I say that because I spent 20 plus years interviewing Kevin before, during, and after tournaments, and as much as he gave up, I knew he was always holding something back. I mean, that's all good, wouldn't you? But now that he's retired from competing, which by the way is like saying a tuna retires from swimming. Anyhow, now that he thinks he's retired, he can give out the juice. Will he? I've asked him multiple times and he says he will. So I say,
Give me all the juice you got!
now his show is on the Outdoor Channel, which might be tough for you to get and you might have to pay for it, but ain't all that juice worth it? KVD juice? Hey Kevin, we want juice with no limits. Unlimited juice!
You have unlimited juice? This party is gonna be off the hook.
Did you catch in that clip that the guy said off the hook and the guy standing there was holding a fishing rod? What are the chances of that? All right, that's all I got for you this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Seafoam and Kistler. See you next week. God bless you.